Before a soldier can shoot to kill from any position under operational conditions, he must first perfect his marksmanship skills by shooting at clearly defined targets in conventional positions on the range.
I see you're an 8-inch grouper. Today you're going to fire from 300 meters.
It is the responsibility of unit coaches to perfect the marksmanship techniques of the trained soldier.
Load. In the prone position, down.
There are 4 principles which are vital to good marksmanship. The position and hold of the firer must be firm enough to support the rifle. The rifle must point naturally at the target without physical effort. Sight alignment must be correct. And finally, the shot must be fired and followed through without disturbing the position. Let us study these principles in more detail as they are so important. First, position and hold. The rifle must fit the firer. Its butt length must allow him correct eye relief when sighting and also enable him to grip correctly with the forward hand. Butts are available in extra long, long, normal, and short fittings. The position of the firer, whether long, short, or tall, is designed to give maximum support to the rifle. Stability is achieved by contact with the ground. Support of the rifle is obtained through 3 points: the left and right hands and the chest. The left elbow should be placed close to the line of the rifle, so that the weight of the rifle is given rigid support by the bones of the forearm rather than the elastic support of muscle. The hand guard should be across the palm of the hand and be held firmly enough to support the rifle without gripping tightly. The controlling hand in good shooting is the right hand, which must be located high on the pistol grip, and grip it firmly, pulling the rifle back into the shoulder but without twisting the rifle away from an upright attitude. The thumb should be below the safety catch and the trigger finger parallel to the barrel. The body should lie slightly oblique to the line of fire, legs apart with the right leg parallel to the line of fire. The inside of the ankles should lie against the ground. This is the recommended position, but variations of it are allowed to suit individual firers. The muscles should be as relaxed as possible to avoid tremors through straining. The butt should be placed in the hollow between the collarbone and the shoulder muscle. The head should not be pressed against the butt, but rested in a comfortable position, which at the same time allows it to be kept upright so that the eye can operate in its socket in the most normal position. The distance between the eye and the rear sight aperture is called eye relief, and should be between 1.5 and 2 inches. This can be altered by adjustments to the firer's position. Until the firer automatically adopts the correct position and hold, he will have to concentrate to do so, or it will have a bad effect on his shooting. A sandbag support in the early stages will help him achieve consistency, but the firer should not be allowed to become dependent on it as an aid to better shooting. Coaches should look for the following common faults in the firer's position and hold, and the effect they will have on shooting. For example, a firer with too long a butt causing excessive eye relief will have restricted vision of the target area. Poor left-hand support will cause shots to become scattered round the point of aim. If the left hand grips the rifle too hard, it can cause the group fired to spread laterally across the target. The left elbow, positioned too far from the line of the rifle, can cause the group to become strung low and right of the point of aim. Tense muscles to obtain steadiness will cause tremors to set in, which make aiming more difficult. The butt must fit into the hollow between the collarbone and the shoulder muscle. If it doesn't, the butt may slip on firing, causing a lateral throw of shots to the right. Incorrect use of the sandbag gives variable support. The effect of this may be to increase the size of a group and possibly misplace it vertically. The second principle in marksmanship is natural pointing. The rifle should always be treated as an extension of the firer's body. Thus, if the body is correctly positioned, the rifle should point naturally without any straining at the target. If any strain is needed to point the rifle at the correct aim, it will result in the bullet being displaced from the aim at the moment of firing. Rifle movement can never be eliminated completely. The firer should adopt a position that points naturally at the target and avoids straining. This will help to eliminate any inconsistencies in the rifle's movement. Testing and adjusting the position is taught in basic recruit training.
Final check, bring the rifle down to the rest position. Now close both eyes and bring the rifle back up to an aiming position. Once you've done this and it feels steady, open the right eye and look to the sights. Watch. And you should see then that the foresight is either on or very near the point of aim. If it isn't, then more adjustment is necessary. And you can carry this out by using the same methods as I've just shown you. Are there any questions? Right, pick up your own rifles and get into the aim. Now, once you're steady, relax the grip with both hands and see if the foresight moves. If it does, you must then adjust your position.
It is particularly important to point naturally when engaging snap targets. The experienced shot will quickly alter his position each time to the correct alignment before firing. The inexperienced shot will not alter his position, with the result that he is not pointing naturally, and thus straining into the aim with a consequent effect on his shooting. Sight alignment, the third principle in marksmanship. The points to be aligned are the eye, the center of the back sight aperture, the central point of the tip of the foresight, and the point of aim on the target. To obtain a correct aim, it is necessary to align all four of these points into a straight line. Alignment faults cannot be seen during firing, but the good coach can deduce them. An obvious fault is when the tip of the foresight is off the point of aim. This will cause the shot to fall inside a circle based on the foresight's point of aim. The diameter of the circle is the same as the firer's grouping capacity. Failure to centralize the foresight in the rear sight aperture is another serious fault. The eye does not automatically locate the center of the aperture. It requires concentration to do so consistently. A correct eye relief of between 1.5 and 2 inches will help in correct sight alignment and in selecting the center of the aperture. This is the result of failure to centralize the foresight in the rear sight aperture. The effect increases in proportion to the range, and few firers realize they are making this error. The correct point of focus is essential to correct sighting. The eye of the firer cannot focus simultaneously on the tip of the foresight and the target. If focused on the target, the foresight becomes blurred and may be displaced from the center of the aperture, with the results that have been shown. The foresight must be sharp, so that any alignment errors are the less serious ones of foresight placement on the target. The introduction of the suit sight, in which an inverted aiming point representing the foresight is enclosed within an optical sight, goes some way to eliminating the critical alignment between the foresight and rear sight aperture on standard sights. It also eliminates the errors of incorrect focus, because everything is in a fixed focal plane. The final principle in marksmanship is the follow-through. Breathing is a natural function, and as the lungs fill and empty, they cause body movement. The whole breathing cycle takes approximately 5 seconds, during which the lungs are neither completely filled or emptied. After breathing out, there is a natural pause which can be utilized to allow shot release without movement. Before using this pause, the firer should breathe in and out deeply, at least once, to oxygenate the body to assist concentration during the breathing aiming pause, which should not exceed 7 seconds. This is breath control in practice. During the pause of restrained breathing, the trigger must be operated without altering the sight alignment. This is only possible if the right-hand hold is correct, with the trigger finger in the correct position. The slack pressure in the trigger is taken up before aiming, and the trigger is squeezed and not snatched or pulled. The squeezing pressure must be graduated so that while aiming is correct, it can be increased. If aiming is disturbed, pressure can be held and increased only when the correct aim is retaken. After firing, the shot must be followed through to the target. The trigger must be held to the rear. The firer's eye must stay open, and he must watch for any movement of the foresight. Great concentration on the part of the firer is required to avoid inattention to any of these 3 points, which may cause misplacement of his shot. Poor breath control, either attempting to aim after inhaling or holding the breath restraint too long, are common faults which result in poor shooting. Snatching, instead of squeezing the trigger, is a common fault in trigger operation, as is pulling across the line of sight. In the actual follow-through, releasing the trigger immediately after firing, flinching and lifting the head, all cause movement which results in a misplaced shot. Flinching is often caused by eye relief being too small, the result of a short-fitting butt. Raising the head is usually done in enthusiasm to see where a shot has gone. Remember, the key to good marksmanship is correct position and hold, natural pointing, correct sight alignment, and correct follow-through. There are no shortcuts to a good shooting technique. Practice and intelligent coaching are vital if marksmanship skills are to be mastered and perfected. They should not only be practiced in the prone position, but also in the kneeling and standing position against fleeting targets. Only then can a soldier be expected to shoot to kill from any position under operational conditions.